Special interest indoor album review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Special Interest. This is their third album. They are a Louisiana-based band and one of the more exciting bands to pop up on my radar in the last couple of years. A few years back, they put out their Spiraling debut. I didn't know about it at the time, but shortly after, I did catch wind of it, and you know what? I thought it was pretty exciting. It was a really pretty brutal explosion of some industrial elements, some electro punk, and all the energy and all the anger that you could stomach, and it was beautiful. And honestly, it was a little rough around the edges, and it was a little short-winded. I thought the production could have been upped a little, but at least my eyes were pointing in that direction. Now they follow that up with their The Passion Of album, which I named one of my favorite albums of the year, especially in the later months of the year. I mean, I was so captivated by the Street Pulse Beat single that I redid my entire calendar just to chat about this album. It's punky, it's industrial, it's got some dance elements as well that were really done tastefully, and overall I just thought it was a really exciting album for the band. Which leads me to this new album, which had a slew of very spicy, much more dance-oriented singles leading up to it, with all of the anger and the message intact, which excited the hell out of me. And you know what? This is another really great example of what Special Interest is doing right now. This album starts off with Cherry Blue Intention, and it is a wild start. We have hit the dance floor, folks. I mean, it's an off-kilter dance floor with some cyberpunk grooves, but it's pretty freaking cool. This sounds like an underground punk rave, which is exactly where I like hearing Special Interest the most. And it just sounds like so much fun, and one of the most spontaneous and instantaneous dance singles I've heard all year. It's an electrifying start, and if that wasn't already an example of where we are at with Special Interest, take for example Herman's House. This is a little bit more on the nose, but it's also groovier and catchier. And while it's not as wild-eyed and energetic, it is sharp. But don't get it twisted, while it kind of lacks in that punk energy, it really makes up for it in the punk spirit, the anger, the message. It's all here. It's pissed off and it's urgent in its own way. I do really love Foul as well. This track has all the energy. It is one of the most charismatic and off-the-rails tracks here. It's wild, and this is exactly where I love to hear them the most. Their sense of urgency, it's right on the button. It ends up being an off-kilter, over-caffeinated thrill ride, and that is something that I love to hear. And for me, this album does not get any better than Midnight Legend. It just doesn't. This is a shiny, NuDisco-oriented track with a whole lot of personality. And truthfully, I can't say no to it. As far as a dance track goes, it's one of the best ones I've heard all year. The depth of the band is commendable, and their ability to put in their urgency and their pissed off emotions into a track like this, it's nothing short of commendable. So much of this album is just Special Interest doing Special Interest things, and there is nothing wrong with that as well. And Love Scene, I adore this track so much. I love the bulky industrial beat and just how filthy this track comes off. It is dirty. Like in a much more glossy album as this is, I'm pretty shocked to see just how dingy this comes off. But it's a good thing because it just, drives home the fact that the band is still growing, still trying new things, and I commend that. It's a hell of a deep cut. Most of this album is very solid, overly solid. Special Interest are still a band to watch and an exciting band to have on your radar. Even if I still do kind of enjoy The Passion Of a little bit more. Kurdish Radio, it's rough. This all around is just so ugly and, quite frankly, pretty sloppy. I'm good for the band getting down and dirty, but this just is really boring when you strip things down. There's not really a lot of progression to it either. And my displeasure is not exactly much better. I mean, I salute the grimier and more industrial sound, but this could have been so much more impactful. It just comes off ugly, sluggish, and kind of annoying. And like, I hate to say it, but like, it just doesn't sound nice. And I mean, these are genres that don't always sound nice. They're deep, dark, dingy genres, but I don't know. I'm not feeling this. And the late album interlude that we get, it's not the worst sin committed here. There's actually some pretty cool production tricks on this track, and there's some pretty decent drama, but I personally think that it just kind of gets things off track, and it's something that could have been tied into another track here. That being said, while I still do enjoy the Passion Up a little bit more, Special Interest are a really fascinating band right now and so exciting to have on your radar. Impulse Control, this is right where I like to hear the band. This is a wild-eyed, agitated punk romp. The wailing synths, the breakneck drumming, the vocals here, yes please. And I have a lot of the same feelings on Concerning Peace. This is once again a streamlined and infinitely rewarding punk tune from Special Interest. As far as a heavy tune goes, this is by far the heaviest track here, and that's music to my ears. I mean, I'm still so invested in their sound, and they still seem like they're growing, and that's just so exciting. And then I hear L.A. Blues as a finale, and holy hell, I think it's like the best track here. This is a mammoth of a tune between the pacing, the drama, the intensity. It reminds me of everything I once loved about Street Pulse beat. This to me is the perfect medium for Special Interest. 8 glorious minutes of it. It is a little campy at times, but it doesn't stray too far from the beaten path. It still has the anger and the intensity of some of their best stuff. Yeah, this album is totally legit, and yes, well, personally, for my taste, I still like the Passion Up a little bit better, but the dance tracks come off really punchy and agitated. The grimy tracks show that they are still, evolving and trying new things, which is super exciting. Yes, there are certainly some lows, which lead to some of the band's probably worst material ever, but still, Special Interest, they're a band to watch. They are a band to get excited over, and I have no issue at all giving this album a light 8. Let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.